Yo, what's up? This is Pope Service coming to you from a little out of focus San Diego. But man, this video I've been really dying to get to. This is going to be a little bit of everything. A little bit of shout outs, a little bit of a haul. I'm going to do a contest entry, some dollar books, weekly pickups, man. I got so much to get to. I hope you guys get through it with me, alright? Alright, wish me luck. First, there is going to be some stuff talked about what's been going back and forth lately, about comics and their value, and are they good, are they bad, or what the situation is. But, you know, I just want to say that I really think that we need to look between the covers and start to see what comics are really offering. Yes, covers are awesome and I love them, and I really got to say I've been inspired by YouTube to start focusing on covers. I was never really a covers collector. I was more of a completist, a run collector. And I don't know, I just wanted to say that I really actually love and appreciate that aspect of it. Anyhow, look, let me start out real quick with the contest entry, okay? This is for top 3 covers. And oh man, I'm blanking on the YouTuber. Anyway, I'll just do it and I'll tag it, whatever. So Batman 227. Classic Batman cover, and let me say, I mean, the book itself is pretty strong. I do have to admit the corner and the bottom does have a lot to be desired, but strong book. But what's inside the book? There's a part in this story. The story's so cool. The art's awesome, where Batman actually comes in and stops like hell from being unleashed. Literally, with some, you know, you shall not pass kind of jive. This was amazing. Of course, Neil Adams cover, and there's a backup Robin story in there. But that's number 1. Number 2, oh man, this has got to be. What in the? Sorry. Sorry about that. I just liked that song, so I kind of kept it going. Anyway, number 2 was Iron Man. And this one here I've had for a little while. Very strong. Probably one of my favorite books to have found and own. Because it's, man, this is pretty tough to find. The last one, it's House of Secrets 92. Love this, man. Swamp Thing, that first appearance. The book too is pretty strong, and this certainly makes me want to investigate the possibility of a press, because there are some light lines and things on this cover. But man, Swamp Thing writes, and who wouldn't want to look at that? That's cool. Alrighty, well, first thing I'd say is that was a DC, a Marvel, and another DC. But I really thought hard about it, and I was thinking maybe I should try to throw in, you know, independents. Because truth is, those are really most of the books that I love or really find dear, or like, you know, I couldn't part with them and stuff like that. So I mean, I easily could have come in and shown you like Slow Death, you know, number 2. Old 50-cent comic. I mean, I could have done Independence, you know, Freak Show number 1, Arsenic Lullaby, #1. It's a great book, man. Also, probably some of the earliest examples, you know, black and whites and stuff. Men in Black from Aircell. You know, the start of the franchise that moved to Marvel. I mean, I could show all these independents and stuff, but I really find that those are just personal to me. I mean, well, Men in Black took off, but I mean, you have to have a particular constitution to sit down and crack open Arsenic Lullaby, or, you know. Anyway, the point is, I mean, there's all types of stuff to think about and focus on, and I kind of try to hit it all. And with that in mind, that's my first shout out, man. One of my favorite YouTube channels, swear to God, Mercenaut. So this is kind of a shout out to just him, man, his channel, his vibe, his style of collecting, his knowledge, man. He's just, jeez. So the other day, I'm watching one of his videos, and I mean, he got me, man. He poked me in the eye, man. Every book he was dropping, boom, boom, like reading right off my want list. And anyway, this is all meant in good fun, but man, every book, I just was like, oh my goodness. So I said, man, I got to give Mercenaut like kind of some honor, because I always seem to come up just a bit shy. For instance, he drops Tales of Suspense 52, First Black Widow. I've been looking for that book for a long time. I do have, and I said that I would show, the Iron Man 50, the Tales of Suspense 53. Oh, I'm just huge on the second appearances. But, man, I love this book. I've had this book for a while. It's got a few faint spine stresses, as, you know, you can imagine for a book of this age. But, man, strong corners, and, you know, tons of gloss. Not a lot of cover creasing, just some spine issues. The one problem is, and I knew it when I bought it, it does have a chip taken out of that right edge of the book. But I don't know. It's a good example of 53, but man, I would have loved to have had that 52. One that I can identify with was him showing the Silver Surfer #3. And I figured I would show mine just because, man, Mephisto, first appearance. I love it. He's one of my favorites. As everybody knows, you know, the tough thing about these 25 centers from this era was that you find a lot of corners chipped off and pieces taken out, and spines not very square or rolled or kinked up all the way down it. But in this case, I managed to find a really good a really good Silver Surfer 3, and so I at least felt that. Oh, another thing, a big poke in the eye, was he showed a 251 Thor. Oh man, I've been looking at that book forever, because I got to find a nice one to put in between this Thor 250, which I would say is, man, this is pretty strong. I do like minty fresh, but this 52 is just a killer cover. Look at that. But anyway, another wonderful and amazing grab in an entire video of just unbelievable stuff. I mean, Mercenaut, oh my God, he's showing rare, like, indie covers. He's showing deep cuts in Wonder Woman's, like, God, Black Mantis first appearances, like for a song. It was just amazing. Nubia, Wonder Woman 204. It was inspirational. Little side note, it just makes me think about, him pulling amazing books for $2 and $3. Silver Age books, rare books for good deals and stuff like that, just by getting out there and getting at it. And that just is awesome, man. The last little bit of this shout out really for Mercenaut goes like this. He did mention that he picked up a Star Wars #1 recently. Didn't really get into Star Wars and didn't really, see what all the thing was. But I got a #1, he said, okay? And so it got me thinking about this deal that went down once where someone had come in and they basically handed me 1 through 14 of Star Wars and annual #2. So basically you got here, the first 14 solid, and this was maybe 15, 16 years ago. And let me tell you that Star Wars was not faring too well back then. So he brings them into me, and let me kind of show you here real quick. So, well, there's a #1 anyway. And he comes in and he's showing me books, and they're having like $27, $25, multiple digit price tags on them. Like this one, the #4 Darth Vader. It's like $27, So anyway, so all these books come in, and they're in pretty good shape, for books of the era. It's a cool Han Solo cover on #7. Anyway, so he comes in and he hands me the books, and I was just like, yeah, these are pretty good, man, but Star Wars, no one really cares about it right now. Oh, well, if you want them, just offer me whatever. And so I had $10 on me, and I said, how about $10? And he goes, yeah, sure. So I've been sitting on these Star Wars for a long time, and it just shows about, buying a run of books at the right time, on the right price, or the right dig, and there you go, A while later, I haven't touched these books. I haven't touched these books in like 15, 16 years. I didn't even rebag them. And I was going to rebag them, but I was going to say, show the prices on them and stuff. And got to do away with that. Shut up. Well, enough of that. So, so anyway, that kind of broke down. Sorry about that. The streaming music kind of messed me up. But anyway, that was just a quick tribute, man. I don't know. There's so many great YouTubers and stuff. I just felt like I really wanted to highlight that because it was a great day, man. It made me feel good when I came away from that. But let me tell you, every book's a little poke in the eye, but it was awesome. All right, let's move on real quick to a couple things here. First off, I want to go through these. These are some dollar books. Jenny Friesen, Ghost covers, and another, I think that was 6 and 7, all dollar. Terry Moore, the Holiday Fest version of Rachel Rising 1 for $1. Great Ross, Shadow with Garth Ennis, #1. Just a great cover and really great condition. Like I said, me and my interesting taste in indies, punks, managed to get a #1 and #2 that I was missing for $1. That was cool. Last issue of the mid-run of the Thunderbolts with Punisher and Red Hulk and Deadpool. That was cool to find. Just a series I've been trying to find. Ray Fox's Intersect number 1 and 2 for $1. Kazar for and yes, I call him Kazar, not Quasar. I don't know. That's just how my friend English Steve says it, but that's just a Venom appearance in this mag, and I thought, right on. Also managed to grab a issue 100. It's a pretty thick one. Incredible Hulk, that Planet Hulk storyline. A lot of people have been looking for that particular run lately. That's 92 through like 105, something like that. And lastly, okay, wait, these weren't dollar books, but this was the second volume of Punisher in the Nam. What were the issue numbers? 68, 67, 69. I think those were $3 each, so rock on to that. Alright, moving on. This finally came in. This was part of a something I was showing recently. This just happened to be a straggler on eBay. This was a Perillo cover. Oh, this thing's stuck to the box still. This is a Vampirella, number 21, Perillo. Excellent shape on this one, and in my opinion, certainly one of the top 5 covers in that run. Just the expression and the, I don't know, it's cool. So there, that was from last week. Bunch of Perillo madness that I had gone through. All right, next, okay. This jumped out at me in a dig recently, and it just was in really good shape, and I managed to get it for 20 undercover. And the best news was there was a VF near mint one right below it, so I actually got 2 copies of this, and I could not pass that. It was amazing. A jock cover. Sorry, 873. Booyah. Alright, and the shout outs continue. So here I was in this store that I hadn't been in for years, because maybe I had it out with the previous owner, and maybe the previous owner before that, but that's a different story. I was walking through the place. There's plenty of comics and back issues to look at, and in the very back corner, underneath the last row of boxes, understock, were these 2 books that said Spawn on them. Boxes, excuse me, 2 short boxes that said Spawn. So I went over there immediately, beelined, and I said, let's see what's in that. And I was stunned to find this wonderful, beautiful white copy of the Mandarin Spawn cover. It was 165, excuse me. And it was just in there, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I just had to start putting it aside. I dropped down a little further, and I pulled out, which I couldn't believe that I pulled out, was the Gunslinger, issue 175, and it was just in phenomenal shape, and I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I kept going, and I'm pulling out these homage covers, the 229. I was stunned. They had issues 200. They had the McFarlane 200, and they had the Magnola 200. But those big thick books, those big spawns, tend to kink up pretty easy in the spine. And so I left them. I could certainly try to go back, at least maybe for that Magnola. But man, pulled this out too. This was amazing. 237. Um, Somewhere in the middle of this whole thing, man, I just had to like drop the books for a second, and I got on the phone and I called up Killawood, all the way on the other side of the country. I mean, how cool is this community, man? Till we can just get this handled, and there you are. He got on the phone, called me back. We talked some Spawn for a while. He hit me to a few things, told me about what's what, and man, I just totally appreciate it. So, kind of showing these books in kind of in honor of him too. He recently finished his Spawn run, and man, that is awesome. A covers, and I know he's going to literally bloodhound every issue of Spawn, and that's a fact. So, shout out to him. Check out a video of his where he shows the blue cover variant. Trading... I blanked on it. Sorry, man. Anyway, this was in there too, the 245, and dang, that's a crazy good cover. Also in very good shape. Is that a kink? Oh. Yeah, anyway, so there was a ton of these Spawns, and I couldn't believe it. And I left a few in there. I left the Mayhew cover in there with the Spawn, with the Gatling gun. Couldn't believe that was in there. But I need to go back to that shop, because this is also where I pulled out this from the bins. What in the world are they thinking? I was stunned. This came out of the bins. It was just in there. And I was like, oh my God. Until I peeled back this one. And this was in the bins. This Adam Hughes 189. I mean, come on. This is just amazing. The story was, I couldn't believe that I saw it. And then guess what? I look up in the corner, and the corner was impact dented. And I said, oh. And at that point, the guy was walking by who owned the store, and he kind of noticed. He said, is there anything I can help you with? And I said, yeah. And I showed him this cover. I said, man, it's a really great cover. So it's got a little impact dent. And he's all, well, let me check the back. And he came back out and brought me a nice one. Apparently, he has a few more. So like I said, after not having gone to this store in years, I think I am sorely needing to get in with the new ownership. But man, unbelievable just to pull it right out of the box. Now don't get me wrong, these weren't necessarily cover. Like this was $15. But for some reason, inexplicably, this was priced at $3.50. So, I don't know what to say. These Spawns in here, you know, were all priced fairly close to cover price. Maybe some 4s and 5s, but, you know. I also found this, which is the Vampirella #1, the Jenny Friesen cover #1. And I would say, yeah, you know, that's a cool cover. If I hadn't seen the 1 in 250 printed, 1 of 250 Virgin cover. And that thing is amazing. So if you want to snap up the coolest thing, issue 1 and 2 Vampirella, the Virgin cover. I saw the ones I was watching on eBay, both sold for $250 each. So, FYI. At that same store, also managed to find a couple more really strong Warlord of Mars. Yeah, they had Vampies and stuff, Vampirellas, the Perillos, but too many spine ticks, and I just let them be. I only picked up the ones that I thought were in really good shape. Great pose again. Classic Perilloism of the upside down, almost fetal position. And this last one. So, the final tally. All of this goodness. The Vampies, the Spawns, the 2 Key Hughes pickups, the unbelievable Spawn 175 Gunslinger, and a shout out to Tyler Mickles for showing this book as well, and he totally hipped me to the right stuff to be looking for. I've patterned a lot of the books that I've been looking at based on some of the stuff that that was posted right before Heroes Con in North Carolina. That whole stack right there was $59. So I can't say I've had anything that cool in a while, so sweet. Now, sliding over real quick, I just want to give a shout out to another 9-2 crew, and that's Doom143. Man, great pillar in the YouTube community, man, and I totally love and appreciate the shout out he gave me on a recent video, man. That was totally cool of you. Thank you, bro. I would love to live next door to you, man. Yeah, not only would I be in Hawaii, but it would be cool, man. So this is what I'm going to share as a shout out for the Doom143, and that is this outstanding example of, I mean, there's some great Doom covers, but find me one that is close to this. Marvel Superheroes 20, Doctor Doom. And let me tell you, when I say that, like I said, when I really was collecting these 25 centers, I really tried to make sure that the spines were solid. And here comes my next question, and that is, when it comes to pressing, see, I think maybe through perhaps storage or whatever, that this corner down here has become a little mushed or a little rolled. So my question is, in pressing, how do they deal with or take care of the flat spine edges? Do they allow for that? Can a spine of a 25-cent square-bound book be pressed back into its square alignment? I never understood how that process would work. So a lot of times too, you're going to run into staples that are sometimes not flush or inset into the book on the cover, and after a period of time they'll eat through the cover with, you know, pressure and storage. But that's a question about pressing in the middle of a shout out. Sorry, man. Business and pleasure, I guess. But there you go. There's a little shout out to Doom. I'll just put that right there for now. All right, where are we going next? All right, we're moving on to the weeklies. I managed to find a couple more copies of this Robotech Art Germ 1. I haven't read it to really, know of Robotech. Just really never got into it. It just seemed like